All right, get ready for something pretty wild. We're going to look at a series of images that are, well, they're both mysterious and a little unsettling. They come from this project that's trying to use technology to peek into what might be beyond our world. And it brings up some really big questions, about memory, about loss, and about what it means to truly be seen. So let's dive right in. Okay, so our journey starts right here. Take a look. Out of all that digital static, a face, it starts to take shape. I mean, yeah, it's blurry, it's distorted, but you can't deny it. There are definitely human features staring right back at you. And then there's this one. It looks like a different person, right? A totally different expression on their face. But it's got that same, I don't know, ghostly, kind of fleeting feeling to it.
And another one, see what I mean? Each one feels like you're getting this super quick, fragile peek into some other place. Just a shape pulled right out of the static and shadows.
So, okay, this brings us to the big question, the one we're all thinking. What in the world are these ghostly apparitions? Like, are they real? And what's the point of showing them to us?
Well, to get to the bottom of it, we've got to look at how the people who made these images actually explain them. According to the project, this isn't just random noise or a trick of the light. They present these as the actual faces of people from another dimension. They've given them a name, the Unknowns, and they're convinced they've figured out a way to capture what they look like using technology. So you're probably asking, how is that even possible? Well, the technique they use has a very specific name, and it's really the key to understanding this whole thing. It's called Instrumental Transcommunication, or ITC for short. And the core idea is this. It's the belief that everyday electronics, like cameras, radios, that kind of stuff, can actually act as a bridge that lets us record voices and, yes, even images from other dimensions. And look, this isn't just some random person's hobby. These images are coming from a whole organization called the Institute of Advanced Research in Instrumental Transcommunication. It's headed up by a researcher named Sonia Rinaldi, so yeah, this is a dedicated, ongoing project. But they're not just doing this research to see what they can find. There's a really personal, and I'd say urgent mission behind sharing these faces with the world, and that mission is identification. The whole point of this, their ultimate goal, is something deeply human. Their hope is that by sharing these images, somebody, somewhere out there, will see the face of a loved one they've lost. They want to create what they call a bridge between our world and theirs. And they have a very specific process for this. If you think you recognize a face, they instruct you to go to their website, send a message to someone named Daniela, and make sure you mention the page number where you saw the image. They also ask if you can send a comparison photo of the person you think it is, to help them confirm the match. But really, beyond all the technology and the step-by-step process, there's a really powerful emotional core to this whole thing. It's all built on this one specific idea, the promise of memory. The whole philosophy of the project is kind of captured in this one line. They believe that love and memory do not vanish. The idea here is that these faces are meant to be proof that a person's presence leaves a trace, even long after they're gone. So to them, these images aren't just glitches in the system, they're meaningful signals. They actually call them luminous fragments, like whispers through the light, reminding us that a life doesn't just fade away into nothing. And this kind of reframes the whole relationship, doesn't it? The unknowns aren't just subjects they're studying. They're seen as companions on what they call a journey of remembrance. And this really captures their ultimate hope. The idea that one day, somewhere, a simple act of recognition, a heart recognizing a smile, can finally put a name to an unknown face, and in doing so, bring them back into memory. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, ultimately, this whole project is basically an open invitation. It's inviting anyone who's interested to join in on this pretty unusual journey of remembrance. So for anyone out there who's intrigued by this, or maybe feels some kind of connection to what they've just seen, the project provides their contact information directly. This is where you can go to follow their research or even submit a potential identification. And they leave us with this one last kind of poignant wish. Whether you look at these images and see genuine communication from another dimension, or maybe just a fascinating example of how our brains find patterns in chaos, or even if you just see it as a powerful metaphor for loss,
It doesn't really matter because it taps into this universal human need we all have to remember and to be remembered. So the final question is, what do you see when you look into the static?